I can't believe that we're already here. The end of the season. We are here for decision day for the Western Conference. Who's going to get in? Who's going to be out? There's 2 spots open, 4 teams fighting for those 2 spots. Then for the Eastern Conference, we're seeing where people are seated for the playoffs this year. It's going to be a action-packed weekend. Make sure that you come in for the watch along. We're doing both the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Make sure you're there to hang out. But let's jump into the predictions for this match day. So we start off with a banger with Nashville SC versus Inter Miami. Inter Miami still trying to make sure that they continue to keep a home spot, a home field advantage spot through the playoffs, but also Nashville doing the same thing. Nashville, if they get a win here, they'll also need a couple other things to make sure that they stay in that top 4. They have to get lucky, but Inter Miami, if they win this one, they get a lock there for home field advantage through some of the playoffs. Currently, Nashville, though, a win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. Inter Miami, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome is a 2-2 draw there at Geodis Park, which that is something I could really see. I feel like for most of the games, we could see goals because teams are going to try to push forward to get the win, to get better placement, especially those teams that need better placement because home field advantage is definitely up for grabs. Nashville, though, in their last 5 at home, they do have 4 wins and a loss, where Inter Miami on the road have a win, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Nashville are coming off of a draw against Montreal 1-1 on the road, where Inter Miami are coming off of a 4-0 victory against Atlanta United. Atlanta just didn't show up, but that's been Atlanta all season long. The last time that these 2 teams played in Nashville was last year, and Inter Miami won that match 2-1. And that was their first win there at Geodis Park during the MLS season. This one went back and forth on. I do like the expected outcome 2-2, but I got a feeling that Inter Miami are going to push to make sure they solidify a home field advantage. I will be cheering for Nashville throughout the playoffs since Atlanta are not in it, but I think that Inter Miami are going to go on the road and win this match, get the 3 points, and they're going to win 3-2 over Nashville. Now, that leads us into Toronto FC versus Orlando City. Nothing for Toronto in this one. They have been eliminated, but they have actually looked pretty good down the stretch this season once they got rid of Insigne and Bernardeschi. But Orlando City fighting for spots. They are currently in 7th with 53 points. They need a win to make sure that they stay out of the play-in game because there is a chance that if Chicago and Columbus both win and Orlando don't, Orlando will be in a play-in spot. So they need to go on the road here and get the job done there in Toronto. But currently for Toronto, they are 4 draws and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Orlando City a win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome is in favor of Orlando City in this one, 2-1 over Toronto. And I could really see that happening here. Toronto at home in their last 5, a win and 4 draws. Currently 5-match unbeaten streak there at home. But Orlando City, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Toronto FC are coming off of a loss on the road to LAFC in their last match, where Orlando City are coming off of a loss there at home against the Vancouver Whitecaps, and we know how good the Whitecaps are. Orlando have been a very inconsistent team, but fairly good team this season. One of the better sides. They can put up points. Totally averaging, well, I guess 1.6 on the season away and 1.8 for the whole season. But I got a feeling Orlando will get the job done here. Toronto, maybe they'll play some. It's the last match day of the year. Maybe they'll play some of the younger guys. But Orlando are fighting to make sure that they stay out of that playing game, because if I'm a team, I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that playing game. So Orlando, I think, are going to go on the road here and get the job done. Very close. Maybe a last minute goal, or they're going to score in the first half and then just sit back and park the bus for the rest of the game. But I think they win this match 1-0 over Toronto. Now, for our next matchup, we have Charlotte FC versus the Philadelphia Union. Really, the Philadelphia Union could relax in this one, and I got a feeling they might. They don't have to win or anything to make sure they keep that first place spot. They got the supporter shield. They get the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs. Charlotte, though, on the other hand, they do need to win to stay in the home field advantage there in that 4th spot, because NYCFC also have 56 points, and then you have Nashville with 54, so they could potentially jump and bump Charlotte out of the top 4. So Charlotte need to get a result here at home, and they have been very good at home with 12 wins and 3 losses. But in their last 5, Charlotte 3 wins and 2 losses. Philadelphia Union 4 wins and a loss, currently on a 3-match winning streak. The expected outcome is in favor of Philadelphia Union in this one, 2-1 over Charlotte. But again, I just don't see it happening. This would be a perfect time for Philadelphia maybe to rest their guys, just because there's no implications for them unless they want to maybe spoil something for Charlotte. If they really don't see Charlotte as a threat, then they rest guys. But if they think Charlotte's a threat down the road, but it doesn't really matter. Even at that point, they're playing at home at Subaru Park. So I got a feeling Philadelphia Union are not going to play their toughest. You know what I mean? They're not going to play their toughest game here. Charlotte at home in their last 5, 4 wins and a loss, where the Union on the road are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. Charlotte are coming off of a road victory against DC United, where Philadelphia Union are coming off of a home victory over NYCFC. With that being said, I think that Charlotte win this match, just because I don't think the Union are going to play their starters. Maybe they will, and I could be completely wrong with this, but I think with them having no implications, no matter what, if they lose or win, because I don't think they can't beat a record if they win, so there's no point in them playing their hardest. Might as well rest guys, or if people have a little bit of a knock, just rest them, let them get healthy. Where Charlotte, on the other hand, need to keep the home field advantage. And like I said, I think that they're going to get it done. Those guys have played very well at home anyways. Even if Philadelphia were playing at full strength, I think this game would be a very close game and even be a draw if they are. But I'm going to lead towards they're going to rest some guys. I think Charlotte, it's still going to be a close one, but I think Charlotte win there at home 2-1 over the Union. Now, before we get into that next match, let's take a look at the Nerdy Soccer table. Coming in that number 1 spot is Let's Go Crew with 61 points. Samuel 22 with 57, tied with Joey Betts there in second with 57. M. Donovan coming in that 4th spot at 51. And then in that 5th spot, we have a tie between Generic Soccer Club and Frankie Danks with 46 points. If you want to get involved, the QR code is there on the screen. There's 5 matches out there for you to predict. And then through the playoffs, we will do every playoff game. So make sure that you get in there, climb the leaderboard. Yes, I think if you're just starting out, you won't get too far up it, but you always want to do it just to keep track of your percentage and see what you do throughout the rest of the season. But now let's get back to our predictions. Now, for our next game, we have FC Cincinnati versus CF Montreal. This match does not matter for CF Montreal at all, but for FC Cincinnati, they are currently in 2nd place over Inter Miami, but both teams have 62 points. Cincinnati need to win this match just if they have to play against Inter Miami in the playoffs at any point in time. They want that to be a home field advantage game, and they need to stay in that 2nd spot. They need to go on the road here and win. They need to win this match at home, not go on the road. They're playing at home at TQL Stadium against a not so good side there against CF Montreal. Currently, Cincinnati 3 wins, a draw, and a loss, currently on a 4-match unbeaten streak, where Montreal 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome in favor of Cincinnati, 2-1 there at TQL Stadium. Cincinnati are coming off of a road victory against the Red Bulls, where Montreal are coming off of a home tie with Nashville SC. Cincinnati's home record is not that great in recent form. They have 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5. They do have 8 wins on the season there at home, but 5 losses. CF Montreal on the road in their last 5, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. There's not much to say. I really, the only thing that Montreal can do here is maybe try to play spoilers, but FC Cincinnati at home against CF Montreal, they have 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in MLS. So they have to get the job done, and I expect Pat Noonan and them to do that here. I think that I'm going to go with the expected outcome in this one. I think Montreal do get on the board because they have been kind of scoring as of late. They have a couple that they didn't. They didn't score, but I feel like they have been averaging at least a goal. So I think they do score here on the road, but I think Cincinnati get the job done 2-1 over Montreal. Now we stay there in Ohio for Columbus Crew against New York Red Bulls. Columbus Crew, again, one of those teams, if they win and have a little bit of luck, they can get out of the play-in game. Right now, they are in that 9th spot. So they're in the playoffs no matter what. The East is set. Red Bulls, this match doesn't really matter. They are in that 10th place spot. They won't move down or up with a win or a loss in this one. And really, I think that maybe they will try to play spoilers. And I feel like New York are that kind of team that will play spoiler, or at least try to in this one. But again, Columbus Crew need to win this to try to have a chance to get out of that play-in game. Columbus, though, currently 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5. The Red Bulls, a win, a draw, and 3 losses, currently on a 2-match losing streak. Even though the expected outcome with the Red Bulls not being that great this season, only having 2 wins on the road, the expected outcome is a 1-1 draw there at Lower.com Field. Columbus are coming off of a draw on the road against Orlando City, where the Red Bulls are coming off of a loss there at home against FC Cincinnati. The Columbus Crew win this most of the time there at Lower.com Field. They are 27-7-14 against the Red Bulls at home in MLS. But the last time that these two teams played last year, the Red Bulls did win 1-0 there at Lower.com Field. I think that it is expected that Diego Rossi is back and to be healthy for this match. And I think that might be a difference maker here. The Red Bulls they have not showed me enough this season of anything. Yes, they could play spoilers, but I don't think they do it here. I think Columbus Crew get the job done and win this match 1-0 over the Red Bulls. Now, that leads us into the New England Revs versus Chicago Fire. The Revs eliminated, but Chicago, they are currently in a play-in position. They need a win to try to potentially move out of that play-in game if they are lucky enough that either Orlando lose, and if they win and Nashville lose, they could actually jump Nashville and get into that 6th place spot. So there is a lot on the line here for Chicago, not so much for the Revs. New England, though, currently 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5 matches, where Chicago Fire, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss, currently on a 4-match unbeaten streak. The expected outcome is leaning towards Chicago Fire 2-1 in this one there for them on the road. Revs are coming off of a 4-1 loss against Inter Miami on the road, where Chicago Fire are coming off of a 2-2 draw at home against Toronto FC. Chicago not looking too bad there on the road. New England at home, not that great. 4 wins on the season with 9 losses. And their current home form isn't the greatest with 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. Chicago on the road, though, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5. I want to say that Chicago go on the road and win this. I do like the expected outcome in this one, even maybe a 3-1 potentially. But I got a feeling the Revs are going to try to play a little bit of a spoiler here. I don't think that the Revs win, but I do think that Chicago Fire only get a point in this match, and this match ends in a 2-2 draw there at Gillette Stadium. Now, for a match that doesn't matter at all, other than they will probably be celebrating Brad Guzan, which, kudos to you, Brad, the best goalkeeper for Atlanta ever. Really, pretty much the only goalkeeper for Atlanta ever, but you have been a legend. I know that on this channel we have given Brad a hard time and everything, but I love Brad. He has had a great season. He is forever a legend, always an Atlanta legend, up there as one of the best Atlanta players to have played for Atlanta since coming into the league. So shout out to Brad. But that is the only thing that is good about this game. We will talk about it very quickly. Atlanta, a draw and 4 losses in their last 5. DC United, 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5. Both teams currently on a 3-match losing streak. The expected outcome, 1-1. Not much to say about this one, but I think they're going to do it for Brad. I also think that Atlanta is going to get a clean sheet, and I think they're going to go out on a positive note for the season and win this match 2-0 over DC United. Now, we do have a little bit of a crossover here, which is very weird for the last match day of the year, but it happens because of the odd number for each conference. We have NYCFC versus Seattle Sounders. The Sounders can't really move up or down in their spot. They have clinched a playoff spot there in that 5th spot, but if they win, they can't move up. If they lose, they can't go down if the other teams win. So really, Seattle could potentially be resting players in this one. But NYCFC, they are currently tied with Charlotte with 56 points apiece, but they are currently in 5th. So sitting outside of that home field advantage. So they need a result here to potentially move up and have that home field advantage through some of the playoff. NYCFC, though, 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. Seattle, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. The expected outcome is a 1-1 draw there in New York. I just don't know. I just don't know if that's going to happen here. NYCFC are coming off of a loss on the road to the Philadelphia Union, where Seattle Sounders are coming off of a home victory over Real Salt Lake. NYCFC haven't had a good season there at home. Seattle, not so great on the road, and they are traveling back in time zone. You know, that's a long travel from Seattle to New York, but they've had somewhat time to rest. But I got a feeling that Seattle will kind of take a break here, get some guys rested, get some injuries and, you know, nagging injuries taken care of. Let those guys rest because you can't move up or down. I think NYCFC get the job done here at home because they do need the results. So they're going to be playing this as a playoff game, in my opinion. And I think they win this match 1-0 over the Sounders. Now, for a big matchup for a team that we cheer for here on the channel, that is San Jose Earthquakes versus Austin FC. Austin have clinched the playoffs, and really they can maybe move down to 6th place depending on goal difference and all that, but I think they actually do it by wins. So they're also in a spot where it doesn't really matter if they move up or down, because if Portland win, they have the same amount of points, but Austin will still have one more win than them, if that makes any sense at all. But the Earthquakes need to win this and get some luck that other teams lose. Right now, Earthquakes are in 11th place with 38 points. Then you have RSL and Colorado with 40 points and Dallas with 41 points. And that's the thing. If they win, they would get that 41 points. If Dallas would lose, they would actually jump them even into that 8th spot. So they need some help, but they really need to help themselves here and give them the best shot and win this match. And we will be cheering for them on Saturday night. At least I will. I want them to make the playoffs. Right now, though, they're not looking great. Earthquakes 1 win and 4 losses. Austin FC 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome is in favor of San Jose in this one, 2-1 over Austin. Austin just ain't scoring goals, but the Earthquakes only have 4 wins there at home on the season. Not a great season with how hot they started this year. Earthquakes are coming off of a road loss against Vancouver Whitecaps. Austin coming off of a home victory against LAFC, which is a huge victory for them. Yes, I don't believe that Sun or Buongo were playing for LAFC, but still, a home victory is a home victory against a tough opponent like LAFC. Sounders, though, currently on a 3-match losing streak there at home, where Austin on the road, 2 wins and 3 losses, currently on a 2-match losing streak on the road. I'm going to go with it here. I'm actually going to go with the expected outcome because this is bias. I'm definitely being biased in this one, and I think that the Earthquakes are going to get the job done there at home. I'm going to agree with the expected outcome. I think that both teams score, and I think it's one of those things in dramatic fashion because I feel like this is a dramatic team. I think the Earthquakes score late to get the 3 points, and they win this match 2-1 over Austin FC. So some more Western Conference games there. We have LA Galaxy versus Minnesota United. This one doesn't mean anything for the Galaxy, but Minnesota United, if they go on the road here and win, they could potentially be in that 2nd spot as long as LAFC and San Diego don't get a result here. And that would be huge for Minnesota. Could you imagine Vancouver and Minnesota being 1-2 in the West? I'm here for it. I hope it happens, but we will see. Currently, the Galaxy there in their last 5, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses, where Minnesota United, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome, a 2-1 victory for Minnesota there on the road, which I like that. I really do. The Galaxy are coming off of a victory against FC Dallas there at home, where Minnesota United are coming off of a 3-0 win at home versus Sporting Kansas City. The Galaxy are looking pretty good at home in their current form with 3 wins and 2 losses, a 2-match winning streak in their last 5 there at home, where Minnesota on the road currently on a 5-match unbeaten streak with 3 wins and 2 draws. I like what Minnesota are doing this year. I'm very high on them. Yes, the Galaxy could play spoilers here, but I don't think that they're good enough to do that, even though they have been looking pretty good as of late. I think Minnesota is going to go on the road here and get the 3 points to make it very interesting there in the West. I think they win this match 3-1 over the Galaxy. Now, for another interesting one, because both of these teams are in interesting positions, if I could talk today, we have Vancouver Whitecaps versus FC Dallas. Vancouver need to get a result to solidify that number 1 spot. All they need is a draw to make sure that they stay clear of San Diego. If they lose, San Diego could potentially jump them on wins with 63 points. FC Dallas have not clinched the playoffs yet. They are currently sitting in that 8th spot. They need a result to potentially make it in and also have some luck. They need both. If they only get a draw here, they need both RSL and Colorado to lose their matches. Will that happen? Tell me what your thoughts are below there. Do you think Dallas get in, or are they eliminated? Vancouver Whitecaps, 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5. FC Dallas, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome in favor of Vancouver, 2-1 there at home. And boy, this is going to be, I think that we're going to see a high scoring match with this one. I think that both teams are going to be pushing forward at all times, or it could be the opposite. You know, you never know what you're going to get with these kind of games whenever there are points on the line. Usually I feel like teams set back and then wait until the last second, but I got a feeling we're going to see goals in this one. Vancouver coming off of a road victory against Orlando City. FC Dallas coming off of a road loss to the Galaxy. So not a good loss for Dallas, even though recently they've been looking pretty good. In Whitecaps' last 5 at home, 3 wins and 2 draws. So currently on a 5-match unbeaten streak. Dallas on the road have 4 draws and a loss. So before that loss against LA Galaxy, they were on a 4-match unbeaten streak. I really want to say that Dallas somehow pulled this off, but with them playing in Vancouver, Vancouver have Dallas's number there at home. And I think, like I said, I think we see goals. I don't think it's going to be the expected outcome. I actually think Vancouver Whitecaps win this match 3-2 over FC Dallas. Now that leads us into the Portland Timbers versus San Diego FC. For Portland, there's not very much that could happen here. Them and Dallas could tie it up with 44 points if they lose and Dallas win. And both teams would have 11 points. And depending on what that goal difference is for Dallas, Dallas could jump them and move Portland down. So Portland need to at least get a draw here. San Diego, if they want to try to get that first place spot, they need to win this on the road and get lucky enough that the Whitecaps lose. Then they could be number 1 there in the West. Like I said, in my prediction, though, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Vancouver's going to get the job done, but San Diego won't know that because the games are going on at the same time. Currently, Portland, a win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where San Diego are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The expected outcome for this one is a 2-1 victory for San Diego there on the road. Portland are coming off of a loss on the road to Seattle Sounders. San Diego coming off of a victory on the road against Houston Dynamo. Timbers have been very up and down for me this season. I feel like sometimes we'll pick them to win and they don't. Sometimes we pick them not to win and they do. I feel like I never get their prediction right. San Diego, looking good on the road. I feel like they look better on the road than at home with 11 wins and 4 losses on the season. Portland, though, 7 wins and 3 losses there at home, but have 6 draws. This match could easily end in a draw, in my opinion, but I don't think it is. I think that San Diego are just a better side. They look better on the road, currently on a 5-match unbeaten streak on the road, and I think that they continue that here. I don't think they get I don't think the expected outcome is correct. I think that San Diego are going to win this match 3-1 over Portland and put Portland in trouble of maybe being put in one of those play-in games. Now, coming down the stretch, we have Colorado Rapids versus LAFC. The Rapids need a result to get in. They need to win. Potentially, they could get in with a draw and an RSL loss and a San Jose loss or a draw. They could still get in as long as they drew here. LAFC, if they win, they can move up to second place there in the West if San Diego would happen to lose or draw. So LAFC are fighting for a position there, which if Sun and Bouanga are back, I think they win this game easily. But it's showing that maybe they're not back because of international duty. So we will see. So I'm going to be very cautious in this prediction. Colorado Rapids, a win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. LAFC, 4 wins and a loss in their last 5 matches. That loss coming to Austin during international break. Colorado Rapid lost on the road to RSL in their last match. The expected outcome is LAFC to win this one 2-1 there in Colorado, but I just don't know. LAFC have only beaten Colorado there in Colorado during an MLS season 1 time. So Colorado have their number there at the Mile High City. Will that happen here? I'm not sure. Like I said, the expected outcome 2-1. Colorado, for me, one of the most inconsistent teams, one of the hardest teams to predict this season. They have 8 wins, 3 draws, and 5 losses there at home, where LAFC on the road are 6-4 this season. Like I said, it depends on if Sun and Bouanga play in this one. I'm doing the predictions early, so I'm not seeing any kind of reports right now. It's saying that they're out potentially because of the international duty and coming back. I have a feeling they are going to play, but will be a full match. I'm going to be cautious on that side because if I knew that they're playing for sure, I think it would be an easy win for LAFC, like 3-1 or even this 2-1. But I'm going to say that this match ends in a 2-2 draw there in Colorado. Now, our second to last match, we have St. Louis City versus Real Salt Lake. St. Louis, we know, have been eliminated for a while, but kind of turning it around here at the end of the season, performing, maybe getting used to everything with things switching there in the club and ending on a positive note for next season. But Real Salt Lake, they need a result here and some more luck, kind of. As long as they get a draw, most likely they will be in because they have more wins than Dallas if Dallas would lose. So really, RSL need a draw to get in. Right now, they are still sitting in that 9th spot. We'll see. I do like RSL in this one a little bit more than St. Louis, but St. Louis, like I said, have been playing well. In their last 5, they have 3 wins, a draw, and a loss, where Real Salt Lake, 2 wins and 3 losses. The expected outcome is a 1-1 draw there in St. Louis. St. Louis are coming off of a road victory against Austin, 3-1, which is a great victory for them. Real Salt Lake are coming off of a road loss to the Seattle Sounders. Currently, RSL have a 4-match losing streak on the road, so that does not look good for them, even with them needing a result here. I like what St. Louis have been doing as of late. I'm glad that they have started picking up, even though it's a little too late for any of it for them. I like what they're doing. I'm actually going to go with the expected outcome in this one. I think RSL get the result. They really need a win, but I think they do get a point here, and this match ends in a 1-1 draw there in St. Louis. And for our last match, which pretty much means nothing for either side, for either one of these teams, Sporting Kansas City are just awful, currently on a 5-match losing streak. Houston Dynamo currently on a 2-match losing streak with a win, a draw, and another loss there in their last 5. Expected outcome is a 2-2 draw in this one. Houston coming off of a loss on the road. Sporting Kansas City coming off a loss on the road against Minnesota United. I think both teams score in this one. I actually think that we could potentially see 4 goals in this one. And I'm going to go with the expected outcome because there's not much to talk about in this one. I think it ends in a 2-2 draw there in Kansas City. So that is it for my picks for Decision Day. Make sure that you come and hang out for the live streams because we're doing one for the 6 p.m. matches Eastern time and for the 9 p.m. Make sure you come out, hang out. Tell us in the chat, whatever game you're keeping up on. We're going to have all 4 the quad box up. We're going to have MLS 360 on one with 3 other games. And I might even have my iPad up with another 4 games. So we're going to have soccer everywhere, and I can't wait for it. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like the content. We'll see you for the watch-alongs.